I'm Howard Phillips Lovecraft, and today's question comes to us from Ruben, who provides us with a rather curious thought experiment. They want to know what we should do if there exists a planet entirely occupied by individuals that resemble Donald Trump. Now, there's quite a lot to unpack in this concept, so let's start by first saying, if such a planet exists, where not only there is life, but sentient life, well, that's remarkable in and of itself, regardless of what these inhabitants look like. And the sheer possibility, of course, that we would ever know or even find out about it is likewise rather infinitesimal, even if you grant that given the size and scope of the universe, there's a sort of infinite monkeys at typewriter principle at work that might provide this particular set of parameters. But let's suppose it does exist. If we ever were to discover such a planet, given the rate of our scientific technology and our ability to travel the stars themselves, it would not be for hundreds or thousands of years before we ever came across such a world, by which point the entire context of this particular 21st century American president will be lost on us. It would be like coming across a planet populated entirely by astronautopauls, certainly confusing and perhaps meriting a certain amount of study, but there would not be that sort of immediate emotional heightened state that I think we all find ourselves in now. So, furthering this experiment, suppose through either time dilation or a wormhole, we in the modern age are able to travel to this planet where everyone looks like President Donald John Trump. Even then, there's no real way we can understand just what we're seeing. I mean, just because they look like Donald Trump doesn't mean that they are Donald Trump. You can infer a great deal about a person from how they look, but even still, it's rather limited. I mean, how people feel about Donald Trump's appearance is largely related to how they feel about him beyond his appearance, so regardless of what you think, if you like him, if you despise him. I think we are far too convinced that you can learn about someone just by their outward appearance. There have been great leaders who are not conventionally attractive, and there have been terrible tyrants who would be considered great beauties in their days. And besides, the standards of beauty are constantly changing. So again, I feel like we can't extrapolate too much. So finally, if we're to really, I think, get to the spirit, the heart of this question, what should we do? Should we find ourselves in this modern age on a planet entirely populated by sentient beings who not only look like 21st century American President Donald John Trump, but think like him, speak like him, and act like him? And in that very, very, very specific situation, I think, regardless of where you stand politically, there really is only one rational response to the kind of global society that could accommodate that very, shall we say, strong personality. And that is to very politely excuse oneself, back up into one's spaceship, take off, and, to quote the bard, nuke the entire site from orbit. Just to be safe. As always, I'm Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Thank you.